So my question today is, my daughter's 10 years old and she's recently been having nosebleeds. It's only happened within the past year and I notice it's happening with the heat. Now, typically it's gonna last for a half hour to an hour. What I'm doing is either leaning her head back for the half hour or doing ice packs on it. But it's taking almost an hour for it to completely stop. Is there something I can do to make it stop sooner?
First of all, how common is that?
Very common. Nosebleeds are extremely common, particularly in kids from the ages of 2 to 10, and also in the elderly. In the older years, it's very common. So those ends of the spectrum, very common for nosebleeds. Children typically have what are called anterior nosebleeds, which means that the small capillaries in the front of the nose tend to burst. Now, here's the key. Your nose has a very nice, moist mucosal lining, okay, which keeps it moist, it keeps the air, filters, and everything else. What happens is, particularly during winter, or when there's dry air, the mucosal lining thins out. And when it thins out, your capillaries become more exposed, more vulnerable, and you tend to get that kind of bleeding. One of the things I tell parents all the time is your kids also, unfortunately, will traumatize their nasal passages. They blow too hard because they're a kid. They will pick in their nose, it happens, right? Or even when cleaning their nose, they're just a little rough. And so that's why kids tend to be more prone. Also, it's connected sometimes to allergies. Sometimes there's something called what's called allergic rhinitis, which means that you have this kind of inflammation, this kind of reaction in your nasal passages. So don't worry about it. Most nosebleeds are completely fine, by the way. Now, if your child is consistently bleeding, of course, go to the doctor to make sure that something else is not going on, like maybe a clotting disorder, okay? But in general, it's fine. Now, the one thing I will say to you you're doing wrong is you actually don't put the head back. You actually lean the head a little forward, and then the best way to compress it or to stop the bleed is to really hold the soft part of your nose for at least 5 to 10 minutes.
Right, just like you stop bleeding anyplace else.
That's right, because you're trying to initiate the clotting cascade that causes...
And leaning their head back, I would think you could choke.
100%. So you lean the head back, 2 things happen. One, it can go into the stomach, which becomes an irritant. Or worse, it goes into your airways, which can go down to your lungs, and that's a real problem. So everyone in the old days used to say, lean it back, and you see people doing this all the time, walking around. No. It's actually go forward, squeeze it 5 to 10 minutes. If that's not long enough, try it again.
Awesome.
Okay?
Good one.